That's fatal.
I've been absolutely loving Starfield, and this was a game that I very much needed. I miss this Bethesda type RPG that only Bethesda can do. I've beaten the game already, I've done New Game Plus 10, and although my playthrough started a little rough, it definitely got a lot better in the end when I upgraded from a hard drive to a solid state. Solid states on PC are much needed to play this game, or else your game will just really chug along and lag. If you want to check out my full regular playthrough, it's on my second channel, Fatal Steven Plus, link in the description. With that being said, in today's video, I'm going to give you guys 10 tips that some of you may have known, and some tips that maybe you didn't know at all. These tips are more so catered towards beginner players, but there's also some tips in this video that I learned late into the game that I wish I knew early on. With that being said, let's get into the first tip. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can actually destroy asteroids with your lasers, and it actually gives you materials. Okay, there's some iron. I also wish I knew this earlier on as well. I actually figured this out by accident by just shooting them for fun. I don't think you can destroy these big ones right here. I think these ones are way too big. I think like this size right here is pretty much the sweet spot for being able to be destroyed. Anything bigger than that doesn't really work. Like this right here won't work. Okay, never mind. With missiles, it definitely works. The bigger ones, you can't use a laser, but with one missile, boom, it's good to go. Maybe 2 missiles. 3 missiles. Okay. So some of them take like 1 to 3, and then the smaller ones you can just use your laser. But this is very helpful for grabbing minerals while in space. So you can really grab a lot of iron and then either sell it or use it for outpost building, or maybe even build your self-service bounty board as well. Once in a while on your adventures, you might stumble upon these red emergency cuttable walls that you need to use the cutter on these pins right here. And even says cut pins, right? So that's pretty known, right? But what if you forgot your cutter at the ship, or you forgot your cutter in your storage box, and now you don't have a cutter and you find one of these walls? Well, you can actually open them with explosives. Just equip any explosive, a mine for example, place it near it, and then shoot it, or if you had a nade. And there you go. As long as you have a cutter in your inventory, you don't even have to have it favorited or equipped. The moment you go into the scanner and click the shoot button, the cutter will automatically come out. The moment you get rid of the scanner, your regular gun will come back out. So there's no need to have to favorite the cutter in one of these slots here. You can use these slots for your actual guns, and as long as the cutter's in your inventory, press the scanner, press the shoot button, cutter comes out, and then press the scanner again, and your gun comes out. This next tip is a huge one, and it's something that I utilize still on my playthrough, even after New Game Plus 10. Whenever you finally unlock the lodge in New Atlantis, very early on in the game, enter it. The lodge actually has 2 infinite storage boxes. The first one is in the basement, immediately down the stairs. Right in front of it, this storage box right here has infinite mass, as you can see, so you can fill it up. I still use this for all my rare items, as you can see. I put everything in here. I have like 1 of each spacesuit that I found, 1 of each pack, 1 of each helmet, 1 of each different piece of clothing. So you can just pretty much use this as your storage box. If you don't want to build outposts, maybe, you know what I mean, maybe you're not really an outpost builder. I'm not really an outpost builder, so I don't really care to do that. So I just use this storage box to hold my items. But if you want to organize it even more, you can use this storage box here for maybe only armor, helmets, and backpacks. And then for all your guns, you can put in the second storage box, which is up these stairs here, through the bar, down this hallway, and then the second room on the right. So not this one right here, which is actually your bedroom. This safe right here has infinite storage as well, as you can see, infinite mass. So you can just put your weapons here, or maybe your favorite items. Maybe you've been collecting items out there, snow globes. You can put that in your safe and then use the other storage box for clothing items. But yeah, you can just organize it however you see fit. So you have the storage box downstairs and the safe in your room. Whenever you are using your cutter for minerals, you can actually focus the laser by holding the aim button so that you mine the minerals faster. Are you sick of owning the frontier and you just want to sell it, but you can't because the game won't let you? Well, this next tip is for you, but be warned, if you haven't beaten the game yet, I wouldn't recommend doing it just in case it might break your game. But if you're in like New Game Plus 10 or New Game Plus in general, then you're pretty much in the clear. To sell the frontier, all you have to do is go to any ship technician in the world.
Whoa! Now that is a ship.
Click on let me see what ships you have for sale.
I'm sure you can find.
Go to the selling option. And as long as the vendor has either 0 credits or less credits than what the frontier is worth, which is 8,653, if I press sell, it's going to say this vendor does not have enough credits. Sell the ship for 0 credits. So the downside is you will, obviously not get any credits for the ship. But the moment you press confirm, there goes the frontier. As you can see, the frontier is now out of my inventory. And this works with any ship that you cannot sell regularly. You can pretty much sell it through this method. Just make sure the vendor has 0 credits or less credits than what the ship is valued at. When you're playing an open world Bethesda game like this, you're bound to be over encumbered. You're going to want to grab as many items as you can because sometimes, you know what, it's just fun to be a hoarder. This next tip I learned pretty late in my playthrough, and I wish I learned it early on. But if you're over encumbered and you're slogging your way to your ship just to fly off to a vendor to sell your goods, you can actually just aim at your ship with your scanner. And as long as you're below 200 meters, so let's say you started off at like 188, you can actually pause the game, go into your ship option here, and then press on cargo hold. Now, you can pretty much transfer over your stuff so that you're not over encumbered anymore. Then, once you're not over encumbered anymore, just aim at your ship with your scanner and fast travel to it. Now you're ready to take off and go to your favorite vendor, or you can simply just fast travel to it by using the star map. Speaking of being over encumbered and wanting to sell your items, the best place by far to sell your items is definitely the Crick Star, and then you want to sell it at the key. Now you will have to be in the good graces of the Crimson Fleet, but you can pretty much do this fairly easy early on. And once you're friendly with the Crimson Fleet, go ahead and dock on the key. Now the reason why the key is the best location to sell your goods is because you have the Trade Authority right here.
Trade Authority takes... I was hoping you'd say that.
That has 11,000 credits, well, for me at least. For you, it'll be a little lower early on, I believe, until you upgrade some skills. And then you have a vendor right here across. And then you turn left, and you got a vendor right here, a vendor right here, and then a vendor right here. So you have all these vendors that you can cycle through to sell all your goods. And not only that, but once you're done and you still have more items to sell, just go right here and sit on the couch.
Sharks are too scared to take the key because it ain't no fun.
And wait 48 hours. Now, the waiting 48 hours actually works anywhere. So if you don't have the key unlocked yet, or you're not friends with the Crimson Fleet because you're really early on, you can literally just go to any trade authority in any city and then just sit on a chair, wait 48 hours, and the vendor will be replenished of his credits. And then you can just rinse and repeat selling all your items. When it comes to selling your items though, you want to be selling contraband, or pretty much like weapons and extra armor and backpacks you pick up, any extra spacesuits. Try and avoid miscellaneous items. They do not sell for much in Starfield. It's not like the other Bethesda games like Fallout or Skyrim where you could pretty much pick up anything and then just make a bunch of cash pretty much. In Starfield, everything is inflated. So by selling a bunch of miscellaneous items, you're just going to be wasting your time. You want to be selling contraband, weapons, armors, backpacks, spacesuits, all that sort of stuff. Especially if you have like extras, and the higher the rarity, obviously the more expensive it will be to sell. Now this next tip is something that I also learned later on in the game and I wish I knew earlier on. But pretty much when you highlight over certain galaxies, you'll see that it says, sometimes it might say on the top right, Faction Crimson Fleet, or for example for Nerion it says Faction Freestar Collective, and then for New Atlantis of course it says Faction United Colonies. So let's say you have a bounty with United Colonies, you're bound to get a bounty, it's bound to happen. You might steal something by accident, you might fail with pickpocketing. You are bound to get a bounty, or maybe you kill someone by accident and you end up getting $15,000 bounty. Okay, so theoretically, let's say I have a bounty in New Atlantis, okay? This space is owned by United Colonies. I fast traveled away, I waited 48 hours, the heat died down, now I want to pay off my bounty. So once you return and the heat dies down, you're going to want to pay off your bounty. Because, you don't want to be chased around by security guards. You want to try and avoid them, you want to make sure that they don't take your contraband, you know what I mean? So you don't want to lose your items. By the way, every self-service bounty board will be found in the bars of the main city locations. So here's a self-service bounty board. You click on it, and you know, at the moment I don't have a bounty, but what you would see is no option to pay off your bounty. And you'd probably be a little confused like I was, where you're like, what the heck? I thought this is a self-service bounty board. I want to pay off my bounty, right? Well, the reason why you can't do that is because if you are in the location where you have a bounty, you cannot pay off your bounty there. So because theoretically I'd have a bounty with the United Colonies, I cannot pay off the United Colonies bounty at any United Colonies owned pretty much system. Okay, I'd have to go somewhere that's not owned by the United Colonies, for example Free Star Collective, to pay off my bounty. And then likewise with the other factions, if I had a bounty with Free Star Collective, I can't go to Aquila to pay it off. Now, if you're like me, eventually you're going to have bounties everywhere. You're going to have bounties with Free Star, United Colonies, Crimson Fleet. You're going to have bounties everywhere, and then you won't be able to pretty much use a self-service bounty board to get rid of it. So early on, what you should do is go to a location, go to a star system that's not owned by anyone. For me, I used Altair because it's not owned by anyone, and I just picked a random moon. I picked Altair 2. As you can see, it says Outpost. And what you want to do is literally just build a self-service bounty clearance board on this location so that the moment you spawn in, it's just right there ready for you. And because this is not owned by United Colonies or Free Star Collective, it's not owned by anyone, you'll be able to pay off all your bounties through your own outposts. And you want to do this early on, and it's fairly simple to build one of these. All you need to do is go to Miscellaneous, and all you need is 4 aluminum, 2 zero wire, and 2 beryllium. And you can find those fairly easy by just literally destroying ships and grabbing the items from the ship, or simply just going to vendors and buying the items outright. Once you got one of these self-service boards built for yourself, it will make your playthrough a lot easier because you won't have to worry about being constantly chased when you're just trying to pay off your bounty. Thank you so much for watching. I hope there was at least one tip in this video that helped you out. If you have some tips you want to share with me, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will add it in a future tips and tricks video. I'm loving Starfield, and I can't wait to break it open like I did with Fallout 4 and make my what if videos. So tune in for those. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the Kitchen's On, and I'll catch you next video. Thursday and out. Peace.